Here's the deal. We do this every week, Teaser Tuesdays, and we have a funky intro for this.
Yeah, but Matt got replaced on the guitar. It's me now. So my band's not involved.
This is so you.
I know, right?
I can see you just rocking out to this in your garage. What happened? What you got fired?
Matt's band went big, so it got copyrighted.
Apparently we were getting C&Ds on it whenever we were posting this segment online. Yeah. So I'll have to talk to my attorney about that.
Yeah, Matt's band got they got signed by a record company or something. Do they still have record companies? Yeah.
Did you see that thing yesterday? Because we commented on it when we were watching the College Football National Championship. And remember the play where they flagged Alabama for what was it? Disconcerted. What was the term?
Where they were smacking the wrist together and stuff.
Disconcerting signals or something like that. Yeah. Everybody was talking about how that sounds like a band name on Twitter. I remember when I went to see Disconcerting Signals. Disconcerting.
You just look at your significant other and be like, you are giving me disconcerting signals. I feel like you're giving me disconcerting signals right now.
You just disconcert me in general. All right, so teaser options. 6 games. Where are you going to tease? Are you going to tease? The only Stanford Wong teaser leg would be the Buccaneers down from 8.5 to 2.5 against the Eagles. I'm assuming we all like that. What would you pair it with?
I do. Matt maybe doesn't even like it, right?
You don't like that?
No. I don't think the Bucs lose. I think that 8.5 does feel a little heavy on the full game line. On the actual 8.5 line there. Like I said, so I mean. Drew made a couple of good points where like typically this is a funnel defense with the Bucs, right? Like you don't run, you have to pass. They and that's just kind of how you go about attacking them. But there has been since week 10, as far as like their run defense success rate, it's like 15th in the NFL. Now that's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not like one of these like, oh, you can't run against them, right? I mean they're more kind of like league average, kind of in the middle. Run defense as opposed to this unit that we saw towards the beginning of the season where it literally was like they were giving up 40, 50 yards a game because you couldn't do anything against them. So, but yeah, I mean 2.5 I think is fine. I certainly think that the style of play that the 49ers are going to go after the Cowboys, that going up in that one would be pretty interesting again because
that's the one I like.
Run heavy.
Yeah.
Again, limit possessions against the Cowboys. You can't really take anything into account. Like the 2 big offensive explosions for the Cowboys the past 2 weeks was against a shell of an Eagles team this past week because, again, they were outside of the COVID issues that they had. They played the B team as it was anyway. And then the Washington football team that had all the COVID issues and all the injury issues. So, I mean, like the 2 big offensive explosions that they've had are against teams that weren't really going out there to get it done.
Kelley did not list, because he took poetic license here, did not list the Bills or the Cardinals as tempting teaser legs. I'm not sure if that would get on your radar. For me, it would be the Buccaneers and the Niners.
You mean the Patriots or the Cardinals?
What did I say?
Yeah, Bills.
Yeah,
but
Patriots
there was no. So like that was it's 4 now at DraftKings. 3.5, actually, they're hanging on that Rams Cardinals. So I was thinking of 4.5. Yeah, I'd throw it in there. But
I'm just saying, Patriots and Cardinals would be other options.
There's definitely always Kelley's poetic license.
Absolutely. We should call it. We should name this segment then.
Yeah, Kelley's teaser options for the week. Yeah.
Kelley's allowed teaser Tuesday options.
I kind of see this Raiders Bengals game different than Drew does. Like I think if I was leaning towards the Raiders, I would just play them on the money line. I think they either just win the game or Cincinnati does what Cincinnati does, and I don't think this game plays close. Like I think it's one of the two. I don't think that this falls within
just because the offense is
number.
So
yeah,
dynamic,
like so if their offense is cooking, then they're gonna beat the hell out of the Raiders, right? But if they're not, if the Raiders are getting home with that defensive line, they're not able to get any rhythm going, they can't just kind of go up and down the field, then I think the Raiders probably just win it outright, right? Like I don't think the number really comes into play. Now that said, teaser's a different situation, right? I mean, like there's a difference between 5 and 11 for sure. So, but yeah, I think if I was leaning more Raiders, I'd almost just rather play them on the money line. I think they just went outright.
Remember, of course, this has nothing to do with teasers, but remember after this round, they reseed. So I'm already thinking about the Titans at 1 in the AFC. If the Bills beat the Patriots, big if, but if the Bills beat the Patriots, the 4-5 game, and what's the other one I'm thinking of? And the other game being obviously the Chiefs doesn't matter in this particular case, but if any team with a higher seed.
Right.
So in other words, the Titans will end up playing the team with the lowest seed.
Yes, the worst seed.
And so assuming the worst seed, I know. I hate the
Gill
high.
And I always get crossed paths on this.
I've been alive for decades.
I know. We were
still
saying
don't
the
know how
same
to do
thing.
that.
With the they will play the worst seeded team.
So assuming it's not the Steelers, which I think we feel somewhat comfortable assuming, and let's say the Bills do get by the Patriots. That's a big difference between the Raiders and the Bengals playing the Titans, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. Like if it was the Bengals at the Titans, there's always reason to be scared of the Bengals. If it's the Raiders, you just feel so much better about it.
You do.
I certainly do.
You do.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I mean, if that happens, I think the Titans are strolling into an AFC championship.
There's no doubt who the Titans are pulling for in this game. They're going to have on the silver and black sitting together watching this game.
Who they're really pulling for is the Steelers. That's right. That's who they're really pulling for multiple reasons. But yes, but I actually think the Patriots would strike less fear in the Titans than the Bengals for sure also. So, I mean, if the Patriots win, they'd be pretty pumped about that because they'd end up playing the Patriots, assuming the Chiefs beat the Steelers. So, no, other way around. This is, that's correct because the Patriots are the 6th seed, right? The Bills-Patriots is the 6-3, pardon me. Yeah, so the Patriots win and the Steelers lose. The Patriots would end up playing the Titans. Anyway, a long way of saying, because I'm babbling about it, a long way I'm saying is the Bengals are way scarier to me than the Raiders are. It was interesting to get Drew's take on that game. And I understand what you're saying. If there's any matchup on the board where you can sort of see the underdog either just getting it done or getting blown out, maybe that's the game.
Yeah. I agree with all of it. I agree with what Drew's saying. I agree with what Matt's saying. I agree with what you're saying. Where I think that the game could go. That's probably how I would bet it too, Matt. Like if for this game this week, just because you're topping more two dynamic offenses, and what happens if one of them slows down? I think you're looking at potential blowout scenario. So if I was going to go bet the Raiders, probably would just be on the money line. But when you look at the playoffs longer term, right, the Bengals are a much more dangerous team than the Raiders.
Well, I guess that's why with this Raiders, I mean, look, we looked this past week, and it took a Herculean effort for the Chargers to come back or whatever. But again, if we just go by the metrics, the Bengals are a better team across the board than the Chargers, right? I mean, they're a more efficient offense, they're a better defense, they're like it's a better team across the board here, and so I just think the Raiders have to run really, really pure, and they very well might. I mean, again, the one weakness would be that offensive line, and then going up against the defensive line of the Raiders, and they keep getting home and knocking Burrow off of his spot and not being able to kind of get anything done from that aspect. And I think they could just win it outright. I just don't think this has the biggest blowout potential, I think, of the week to me. This game more than even the Chiefs and Steelers.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I think this has the biggest blowout potential for me.
I still say, and by the way, every time I open my mouth, I get like Eagles fans. Why do you hate the Eagles so much? Or Bills fans. Why do you hate the Bills so much? I don't hate either of them. I still think the Bucs-Eagles has the biggest potential for a blowout. I think that's one of those that could be a huge blowout or be a very tight game. I wouldn't be surprised by either outcome for the reasons that Drew was stating about the Eagles' strength really does play into the Buccaneers' strength. But as the biggest topic sentence of all of this is, no one's without a flaw. So,
no one's really not.
Yeah.
I guess
makes it interesting.
Actual teasers for this week, real quick. I actually do have a teaser bet in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do have the.
Let's hear it.
I did the Bucks and Chiefs. We talked about this a little bit last night. I did tease the Chiefs down from 12.5 to 6.5. Definitely not a Wong teaser play there, but I think that's the one game that Gill, you and I are going to see differently from all week. I understand what you're saying. You're not as high on the Chiefs. Think Steelers might have a backdoor, possibility with that, catching 13 or whatever. I'm still comfortable, even with no Tyreek Hill. I'm so down on the Steelers. I think if I can get this under a touchdown, and don't get me wrong, under 7 is way different than 13, right?
Well,
so
the problem and the reason why I would not go and bet the Chiefs where it sits right now. I mean, listen, you could have a 20-point lead in like the back doors.
Yep.
The back door's open in the fourth quarter. I mean, they score a touchdown, they go for 2, and it's a cover. Like 20, you'd be winning by 20.
Yes. But Kelly's talking about the teaser, so a little different, yeah.